Welcome to the Crawlcast. I'm your host, George Krawczak, and today I'm talking about how WWE messed up John Cena's heel turn. I'm going to look at what they could have done better, how they messed this up, and what John Cena's heel run can look like. So I think the biggest offset is I think there's two mistakes. Number one, John Cena doesn't really have any motivation to turn heel right now. And then number two, it really wasn't a surprise. So first off, everyone knew that the winner of the men's chamber is going to turn heel because I don't think anyone really expected Cody Rhodes to turn heel. So it was going to be the winner of the men's chamber. So as soon as John Cena won and then you saw Cody Rhodes come out, I think everyone knew, okay, Cena's turning heel. I even mentioned in my predictions video that whoever was going to win was going to turn heel, and it could have been John Cena. So right now you have a very short amount of time because John Cena retires in December, and I can guarantee you he's not going to turn heel, or he's not going to be a heel when he retires. So I feel like he's not going to be back till middle of March, and WrestleMania is in the middle of slash end of April. And so that is basically a 1 month time period to make John Cena the biggest heel in the company. Because I think that he will be a heel probably until Money in the Bank, and then Money in the Bank will start seeing the signs of him turning face again. And then come SummerSlam, I think he'll be fully face again. That's what I think is the timeline we're working with. So what you do need to do is you need to make him a great heel because something you do have to think about is every single crowd John Cena visits will be the final time this crowd sees John Cena wrestle. So I think a lot of the people will be grateful for that. So you can kind of go one of two ways. You can either make him a how do I say it, a mean heel in the sense that not you're not booing John Cena because of really his heel actions. You're booing him because you hate him. Not just the character, but the person. As in, he is doing so much where you just need to boo him, and there's genuine hatred between audience and John Cena. And you saw a little bit of this where he ignored his press conference at the end of Elimination Chamber, so it kind of leans into that. You can do that way, or you can kind of do the goofy heel where it's like, we're booing you, but we're booing you because we're kind of supposed to, not necessarily because we hate you. And that's what kind of felt like what a lot of The Rock was doing when he initially turned heel, because he was, doing the Rock concert segment and he was doing videos from his car, and a lot of those were just kind of more jokey, memeable heel moments. So I think you have to decide, okay, is it going to be John Cena the character or John Cena the person that we're booing? And I do think they need to go all in because it's such a short amount of time. You got to make people boo John Cena the person. Like, for example, I think The Rock is a perfect example of that. You look at The Rock's press conferences at any time he shows up in WWE TV, he always talks about how he enjoys playing the final boss, the character. And he talks about how it's such a fun character to be. And he even refused to say whether the final boss was a babyface or heel, which he is a heel. Like, I don't think anyone's confusing him as a babyface, and it kind of makes no sense. But I think it's because Dwayne Johnson himself has a little bit of a fragile ego, and I don't think he wants himself to be seen as a heel in real life, because think he absolutely hated when he got booed for stealing Cody Rhodes' spot. And I think he got absolutely hated that people were booing him when he turned face on the January 6th Netflix episode of Raw. Because I think on that episode of Raw, I think the final boss character was supposed to be done. Dwayne Johnson wanted to become a face again, and people just didn't like that. And so I don't think he enjoys being a heel character because he just likes the popularity of being a babyface. Even if you look at like the 2015 Royal Rumble when he got booed, it seemed like he really hated that. And so I think he also hates the perception that he might be kind of a heel in real life. Because if you look at the reports from Black Adam and Fast and Furious and Red One and some of the backstage politicking in WWE, seems like Dwayne Johnson might not be the greatest person in real life, and I just think he hates that kind of being publicly spotlighted. So I think if you want uh, people to boo John Cena, you need to make him a heel character. And like I said, you need to kind of go off script and show a little bit of sides, maybe like personal videos and stuff on Twitter and stuff like that, where it's not just entirely mocking the crowd. But I will get into that in a second. But I just want to say I think the biggest mistake was John Cena not really having a good motivation to turn heel. And I'll explain this with what I would do differently. So I would change the two segments. Instead of having the Chamber go on first and the Rock going on last, I would have the Rock go on first and have him and Cody Rhodes saying, "Go F yourself, Rock," and do all that. And I wouldn't change anything differently about the segment. But then I would change the Rock going, "Okay, Cody, if you're not going to side with me, you just made the worst mistake of your life, and there will be a plan B in place." And everyone's like, "Ooh, what's this plan B?" And everyone also will acknowledge, "Okay, so who is the person that's the plan B? Who is going to win the Chamber and side with The Rock?" Because, again, the issue with this is once Cena won the Chamber, everyone knew he was turning heel. So I think we need to splice it with inside the Chamber so everyone will be surprised with the result. So this, I think, turns us into the Chamber. And I think you need to sow a little bit of the seeds of it could be someone else winning. Like, for example, what I would do is pick anyone else that's in the Chamber. You can pick like Drew McIntyre or CM Punk or anyone else. Let's just say CM Punk, for example, because he was the other favorite to win. I would have like put the seeds of like sowing the seeds that CM Punk might be the plan B and The Rock might be rigging it for CM Punk. Like, for example, CM Punk pins Drew McIntyre. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we see a little bit of a fast count from the ref. Is that The Rock telling the ref, hey, go in favor of CM Punk? Or maybe if CM Punk gets pinned by, let's just say, Seth Rollins. 1, 2. Oh, there's a slow count from the ref. Is it CM Punk that's going to uh, is it CM Punk that's going to win because we see the ref? And then again, I know, like, just chalk it up to coincidence, but, at the end, it's CM Punk, John Cena, and everyone's thinking, okay, it's for sure CM Punk. We've seen this, we've seen them hinting towards it throughout the match. It's for sure CM Punk. So honestly, I'd eliminate everyone pretty quickly and just have it a one-on-one match between John Cena and CM Punk and have that go on for maybe like close to 10 minutes. And so it says, okay, CM Punk can't beat John Cena can't beat CM Punk. And so right at the end, you hear, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, and The Rock comes down to the ring, and it's CM Punk and John Cena standing there. And then what I would do is have The Rock shake CM Punk's hand and acting like, okay, they're teaming up together because CM Punk really wants his WrestleMania main event and he's sold his soul to The Rock so he can get his WrestleMania main event. And then all of a sudden, it goes from handshake to Rock pulls him in, hits CM Punk with the Rock bottom. Then John Cena picks him up, hits CM Punk with the AA. Pin him 1, 2, 3. John Cena is your Chamber winner. And I think this leads to great motivation of him saying, okay, John Cena, he hasn't won a one-on-one match in however many years. He lost the Rumble, and he might just not have it in himself anymore. He is too old and not a good enough wrestler anymore to win on his own. And what he really wants to do is break Ric Flair's record. And so he felt like he needed to sell his soul to The Rock to win the Elimination Chamber because, again, he doesn't feel like he can do it anymore. And that's why I think sets up the great motivation of saying, okay, that's why he did it. That's why he sold his soul, because he does not feel like he can do it on his own anymore. Whereas in reality, John Cena won the Elimination Chamber fair and square. He outlasted and beat 5 other guys to earn the main event spot at WrestleMania. So why would he join The Rock? And also, in storyline purposes, it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense because, like, think about this. The Rock is pretty lucky that John Cena won to attack Cody Rhodes. Because, like, what if CM Punk won? Would The Rock just be, like, doing his throat slit and CM Punk be like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do? Or did The Rock just have, like, a deal with everyone saying, okay, whoever wins is gonna join me? Again, it makes zero sense within the story. And so now what's John Cena's motivation? It can't be that he doesn't believe he can't do it by himself because he literally just showed he earned main event spot of WrestleMania fair and square. He beat, 5 other guys to win the match. And also, I don't understand this where I see some people saying, oh, well, it's a bit of a heel move by Cena uh, to put CM Punk in the STF after Seth Rollins hit him with the stomp. What is Cena supposed to do? Is he supposed to be like, oh, CM Punk got attacked by Seth Rollins, so let's just cancel the match and we'll figure it out some other time? No, that's just called wrestling a match. It's not his fault Seth Rollins attacked him. But anyways, that's beside the point. So you can't really do the confidence thing. Like, the only thing I can think of is maybe John Cena joins The Rock because he wants more Hollywood success. But even then, I don't even think that's really that great of a reason. Because in the middle of the show, they showed a promotional video basically talking about how great The Rock is and how he's helped so many other people achieve Hollywood success. They highlighted 3 main stars that he's helped achieve success: Becky Lynch, Zelina Vega, and Roman Reigns. I just want to point this out. So The Rock cast Becky Lynch in Young Rock. Since then, she has been in 0 released films. Zelina Vega, The Rock cast her in Fighting with My Family. Since then, she has been in 0 released films. Roman Reigns, since The Rock cast him in Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, he's been in 2 films. He's been Tatted Meathead in The Wrong Missy, and Ramarella in Rumble, which is a voiceover role. So clearly, none of those are starring roles, and it seems like The Rock really doesn't have that much Hollywood influence to make a megastar if that's the story we're going to tell. So why would John Cena join The Rock? It kind of makes 0 sense. And I think, again, if they would have done it differently like this and have the chamber play into the story instead of just the winner, it would have been a lot better. So I think it kind of squanders it a little bit, not John Cena not really having great motivation. But now let's look at what John Cena's heel run can look like. So first off, this is what I'm playing. I understand I talked about how you could do the memeable thing where he makes the funny faces and maybe does funny skits, but we're actually going to make John Cena one of the greatest heels of all time, and we're going to make people hate both John Cena the character and John Cena the person. Again, keep in mind this is all kayfabe, but I think you have to implement a little bit of real life into it to make it better and more believable. Because I think there's a lot of hurdles to overcome. Number one, you only have a month to make this work. That's not a lot of time. Number two, every single crowd is going to see John Cena for the last time, and I think they're going to be grateful for seeing John Cena for the last time, knowing, hey, I'm not going to see this guy again because he's on his retirement tour. So that's going to be a big hurdle to overcome. So how do we make John Cena, the people boo John Cena? First off, he needs new entrance music. I think we need an updated version of Word Life and, make John Cena more of a thug character again. Second off, get rid of his weird, mean face because, honestly, that's more funny. It's like, what do you think a cartoon villain, like, over-exaggerated, mean face looks like? Where I think it's more funny than imitating, and just have him look at his standard, normal face. In terms of ring gear, I think just like if he just wants to do the shorts or the normal jorts but black, that's fine. If he wants to get completely new ring gear, I don't really think that matters too much. So number one, what I do is have him unfollow everyone on Twitter. He follows so many random people on Twitter, and I just think as the first little heel move, dig in a little bit, unfollow everyone on Twitter. Make it subtle, and only the hardcore fans will notice it. And then second of all, this is also a very subtle thing, but I would change the commentary where I wouldn't necessarily mention this. I would just do it in the sense where the AA is no longer the AA. It's now the FU. The STF, no longer the STF. It's the STFU. Just bring that back and kind of just keep calling it that. And I just want to address it. I just change the names. The AA doesn't exist anymore. It's the FU. STF doesn't exist anymore. It's the STFU. So how do we make people boo him? Well, first off, what is John Cena most well known for? He is most well known as the Make-A-Wish guy. So obviously, this would need to be completely scripted with actors because you can't have John Cena doing this to a real Make-A-Wish kid. But honestly, I'd just make him seem like a horrible person. I'd have it set up where it seems like John Cena's doing his normal Make-A-Wish round, and there's a kid that is suffering from cancer, and he's so excited to meet John Cena. And then I just have John Cena just start yelling at him and berating him for having cancer and saying, "Oh, you are so weak. That's why you have cancer. John Cena's tough. I'm tough. I don't get cancer like you, weak little kid." And just have them yelling it. I'd have the kid cry and just overall make John Cena like honestly, because you need to make him look like such a villain in a short amount of time. I'd even like dive into the realm of distasteful a little bit, where it's like this is too mean and this is a little bit over the top, but that's what I think you need because of the short timetable you're on. So I overall just have John Cena ruin this kid's Make-A-Wish experience. Maybe like take a photo with him, have the kid crying, and John Cena just looking mean, and again just make fun of the kid for having cancer, and make John Cena look like this horrible, horrible person. And then what can you do up on TV? I'd have first off, I'd have him beat up R-Truth. I get it. R-Truth's older than him, and that's the joke. But have R-Truth saying, "John, I forgive you," or "It was just a whole misunderstanding. Who knows why you did it?" And then just have John Cena just beat the crap out of him. And I think that would get serious heat because I think a lot of people really like R-Truth. And then the next thing I would do is just have John Cena go to each city and cut the promos. It's a little bit tough because just talk about how crappy the people are, I guess, and maybe their sports teams, because it's one of those things where I would like John Cena to say, "Hey, you guys booed me all these years, and I gave you so much to this company, and you guys kept booing me and saying Cena sucks." But the crowd doesn't do that anymore. The crowd all cheers him because they're happy to see him back because he's on his retirement tour. So that's kind of the issue. The crowd's not booing him anymore. So it's hard to use that as motivation either. And so another thing I would try to do is mention all the times John Cena buried people and just have him talk about it and not feel bad about it. Talk about how he buried the Nexus. Talk about how he buried John Cena. Or, sorry, not John Cena. How he buried Bray Wyatt. Talk about how he buried Zack Ryder. I get it. Matt Cardona's probably not interested at all, but maybe if you can have Matt Cardona return and have John Cena beat him up, maybe you can have, if they're doing a show in Michigan anytime soon, have them beat up Zach Gowen, give Zach Gowen the Brock Lesnar treatment, and attack him with his one leg. And then also talk about how he buried Rusev, and talk about how he buried Rey Mysterio. And because honestly, I think that's one of the biggest heel things is he stole Rey Mysterio's WWE Championship at like an hour after he won a tournament for. So I think that's the best way to just make him look as horrible as possible, and start attacking people, and kind of I would say like a little bit of the pipe bomb, but in reverse, in the sense where it's like, say where the pipe bomb was, CM Punk says, "Okay, here is my list of issues that I have with WWE," and everyone's like, "Yeah, I agree with that." Do that in reverse, where say John Cena's like, "Here's all the people I buried, and here's everything you guys hated about me in the past," and say, "I agree with it 100%. I have no regrets. I'm happy I did those things." And just overall, kind of bring up stuff that you maybe want to bury a little bit. And kind of like the stuff where it's like, "Oh, WWE wants him to forget about the Nexus, wants you to forget about John Cena burying the Nexus." Have him bring that back up and kind of cross the lines of reality. And then the biggest thing is WrestleMania. Does WWE have him win the championship at WrestleMania? And honestly, I think since he's turned heel, I would say no. Because the big 17th title win, you're going to want to show that everywhere. At his Hall of Fame speech, as a big accomplishment, you're going to have a picture of him holding up the title, and that's going to go everywhere. And I think when you have him holding up the title, you're going to want him to look happy, look like grateful, maybe have a little crying, like he's earned it. You don't want him to look mean, you don't want look angry, and you don't want him to look like he cheated for it, because it's such a big accomplishment that no one's probably going to ever beat it. And so That's how you want. So I think you want him to lose at WrestleMania. And then the question is, how does he turn back to babyface? I think you can go one of two ways. Either slowly sow the seeds of him saying, "Okay, I understand that I was wrong, and now I got to be learn from my bad ways and stuff like that," or you can just have him go away and come back. Because kind of do what Roman Reigns did. Because look at Roman Reigns. He terrorized WWE for 3 years. And then all of a sudden, and was the biggest heel of the company for those 3 years. Then he loses the title at WrestleMania and then just comes back at SummerSlam. His character doesn't do anything different. Nothing different happens. It's just that he goes away for 4 months and then people are just happy to see him again. Actually, no, I think it was more like 7 months. But he goes away for a long period of time, and then people are just happy to see him again. And so overall, oh, actually, no, it was 6 months. But so Roman Reigns, the character, hasn't done anything different. People just cheer him now because he was just gone a little bit. So maybe you can do something like that for Cena. But overall, I think the best story is again, you see the seeds of doubt sowing in around Money in the Bank time. By SummerSlam, he's turned face, and I think the best way to end his career is right at the end. He wins the title and then relinquish in his final pay-per-view match, and then he relinquishes it the next night on Raw. Because I don't think anyone's really super interested in a big title reign. It's kind of like a little bit reminds me of Austin, where no one really cared about Austin being the champion. Everyone cared about Austin trying to be the champion. So I don't think anyone's really interested in John Cena having this big title reign. Everyone's interested in him trying to get the title in his final year. So I think you should be as close as possible to December where he retires. And when his career ends is when he wins the title and breaks the record. I'd say even in his final match ever, he breaks the record. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did WWE screw up this heel turn? Was it a great heel turn? Was it mid? Was it the best heel turn of all time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And again, my biggest issue is I think they screwed it up where John Cena has no motivation to turn heel. And we'll see how he reacts in the next coming weeks because he's not going to, it's going to be a little while before he shows up on Raw again. But like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this type of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button like it owes you money, and I'll see you on the next one.